There have been over 200 themes in LEGO's history, and some of the stuff they were putting in these sets was unbelievable. There's crazy stuff, like the fact that the M-Tron theme from the 90s had working magnets, or that LEGO added compressed air to certain sets in the 80s. But there's also stupid stuff, like this working toilet from the Ninjago City set. So today, I'll be going over 22 hidden features you probably missed in LEGO. Up first, did you know that some LEGO sets use compressed air? Back in 1984, LEGO dropped these things called pneumatics, which were basically a system that uses compressed air to move certain parts of a set. The way it works is you have a pump that makes air pressure, and that pressure moves pneumatic cylinders to create realistic movement in whatever set it's attached to. It's the same concept as real hydraulics, except instead of using liquid, LEGO uses air. The first set to use this was the excavator in 1984, and it was revolutionary for its time because it meant you could actually operate toy construction equipment. But the coolest set ever was probably the AirTech claw rig from 1992, because this was the first set to have an automated compressor. Before this, you had to manually pump air into the system, but with the AirTech claw rig, everything was done for you. The crazy part is that LEGO still uses pneumatics today. They just upgraded the system to Pneumatics 2.0 in 2018 with the Forest Machine set. The new system is way more efficient and has better seals, which means it can handle more pressure and make smoother movements. But pneumatics wasn't the only functional feature LEGO was experimenting with in the 80s and 90s. There's a sub-theme in space called M-Tron, and it's one of the only LEGO themes ever made that has actual magnets incorporated into the sets. You could use them to pick up other builds in the set, like cargo containers, which would honestly be cool now, let alone in the 90s. But now, let's jump to 2020, because the AT-AT set has some really clever features that most people probably missed. First off, there's a spot in the back of the set where you can actually store a speeder bike. It's one of those details that LEGO didn't have to include, but they did anyway, because it makes the set more accurate to how the AT-AT actually works in Star Wars. But the coolest part is that LEGO also built in a place for Luke to hang off the bottom, just like he did in episode 5 when he used his grappling hook and lightsaber to take it down. There's a piece hanging off of some string, so if you put Luke on there, it looks exactly like the iconic scene from The Empire Strikes Back. But if you want to talk about hidden mechanisms, the Indiana Jones Temple of the Golden Idol set from 2023 is absolutely packed with them. This set has 4 different play features that are all activated by different things, and they're hidden, so you can't see how they work. The first feature is a giant rolling boulder, just like the one from the opening scene. The boulder doesn't just roll straight down, it actually follows a curved path, and surprisingly, it doesn't go off track. The second feature is a wall section that raises and lowers, which recreates the trap doors and moving walls that Indy has to deal with throughout the temple. The third feature is a swinging minifigure that goes across a pit, which is a reference to all those scenes where Indy has to swing across gaps using his whip. And the fourth feature is that the temple can actually destroy itself. The designers wanted this set to feel just like the movie, and with all of these play features, it definitely does. Accurate sets are some of the highest selling LEGO sets ever. So when I saw that LEGO was making a Porsche 911 GT3R race car this year, I instantly knew it was gonna go crazy. This thing is based on a real race car made by Porsche that won the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship last year, and the Rexy style was a fan favorite. Obviously, LEGO nailed the looks, but they also added some crazy features, one of which you can only find on race cars. First of all, there's a knob on the back of the car that turns the front wheels. So instead of having to stick your hand in the car and turn the steering wheel, you can turn the knob and play with the car a lot more easily. Second, each wheel has its own individual suspension, which I don't even know if LEGO's ever done this for a Technicar of this size. So this was really cool to see. But best of all, there's a play feature that mimics air jacks. The mechanism for it seems pretty complex. I mean, just look at the bottom of the car. But speaking of complex mechanisms, the Ninjago City set from 2017 has a working ATM. There's a lever hidden around the back of the set, and when you push it, it dispenses LEGO $100 bills one at a time. The mechanism automatically loads the next bill after you take one, which means you can keep using it over and over until you dispense 11. That's the limit. But that's not all. Ninjago City even has a toilet that actually flushes. The bathroom has a toilet that can flush around one by one tile to the base of the set, which simulates, well, you know. It's tucked away and difficult to access, but it's definitely there if you know where to look. I have no idea why LEGO decided to make a flushing toilet, but I'm glad they did. This is one of the funniest play features they've ever made. Anyways, the Assembly Square set from 2017 is packed with hidden features, so let me break down a few of them. First off, the upper apartment has a sofa bed that works just like a real one. It's a fully functional piece of furniture in LEGO form. You can fold it out, fold it in, and it stays sturdy in both positions without falling apart. The set also has a working oven in the bakery with a door that opens so you can take out baked goods. But the coolest part is that there's a rod you can push on the outside of the set to actually move the baked goods into the oven. It's basically the only play feature in the set, but it's a really good one. Another modular building set with a cool furniture function is the Parisian restaurant set. This one is also a bed, but instead of a pull-out couch, it's a Murphy bed that folds in and out of the wall. These things are really popular in small apartments because of how much space they save, but I never thought I'd see one in LEGO. But this next feature is legitimately insane because LEGO hid something in the Lion Knight's castle set from 2022 that connects it to castle sets from the 1980s. It has Technic holes on the sides, and these aren't just random holes that happen to be there. They're specifically designed so you can connect the castle to modular castle sets from the 1980s. LEGO didn't advertise this at all, and they didn't put it in the instructions either. All they did was put it in an article where they interviewed the designers. It's such a simple thing to do, but now a set from 2022 is compatible with sets from the 80s. Isn't that sick? Anyways, the Disney castle set also has a hidden feature that most people probably didn't notice. The Grand Ballroom from Cinderella has a rotating dance floor mechanism that actually spins when you turn it. It's a reference to the iconic ballroom scene from the movie where Cinderella and Prince Charming dance together. And the fact that LEGO made it functional instead of static is a really nice touch. You can put minifigures on the dance floor and spin them around, which makes the set feel a lot more magical. But the Batman theme is full of hidden features. So let's start with the classic TV series set from 2016. First off, there's a button hidden under Shakespeare's head that, in the show, would move the bookcase and reveal the bat poles. Now, obviously, LEGO can't put a real button inside their Shakespeare piece, but it's good that they worked it in somehow. If you could press it though, the bookshelf would open. So of course, LEGO recreated this with a sick play feature. The poles at the top are meant for display, so they don't actually go all the way down. But if you go to the other side of the set, that's where you'll find functional poles. These are the ones that the minifigures can slide down with ease, so it's a perfect recreation from the classic show. But the newer Batcave set from 2017 has a transformation chamber, and it's one of the sickest play features in all of LEGO Batman. You put Bruce Wayne on one side of a rotating mechanism, turn it, and Batman appears on the other side. It's a lot like the Vecna transformation in the Creel House set. I loved that feature, and I didn't even know the Batman one existed until now. But if you want to talk about satisfying mechanisms, the Creator roller coaster set from 2018 is fully functional, and it's so satisfying. First, there's a chain that pulls the cars up to the first drop. Then, once the cars reach the top, gravity takes over, and they go through all the twists and turns on their own. The chain lift works exactly like a real roller coaster. It's motorized, and it catches onto the bottom of the cars and pulls them up the incline. You can either hand crank it or add a motor to make it automatic, but either way, it's genuinely one of the coolest functional sets LEGO has ever made. But did you know that that bat pole feature from before isn't the only one in LEGO? The Ghostbusters Firehouse set from 2016 also has a really cool pole that minifigures can slide down. As they slide, they spin because of the spiral shape, just like in the movie when the Ghostbusters get an emergency call and they have to go rush down to the garage. It's such a simple feature, but just like the one in the Batman set, it makes the set so much better. However, the Space Shuttle Discovery set from 2021 has not one, but two incredible functional features that show just how much research LEGO put into making the set accurate. First, the cargo bay has a flexible, articulated robotic arm called the Canada arm, and it can extend, rotate, and even grab the Hubble Space Telescope. This is a real piece of equipment that was used on actual space shuttle missions, and NASA used it to deploy satellites and repair the Hubble Space Telescope in orbit. But the second feature might be even cooler. There's a little panel at the back of the ship that deploys the landing gear. All four wheels pop out at once, just like they would if the real ship was landing. LEGO always goes really hard on their sets for NASA, and they did the same thing for the Saturn V rocket from 2020. The real Discovery shuttle had 3 stages because it was built to go really far, so LEGO had to incorporate the this somehow, and they did a really good job. Even when the set is fully built, it's super easy to break it into all 3 stages. They even all have their own thrusters on the back, so the designers really put a lot of time into making this set accurate. But the craziest transformation feature LEGO has ever done is probably in the Pirates of Barracuda Bay set from 2020. This set is a 2,545-piece shipwreck island, and it looks amazing as a display piece with palm trees, a wrecked ship, and treasure scattered all around. But here's the crazy part. The entire island can be completely disassembled and rebuilt into a fully built pirate ship. The 3 wrecked ship sections detach from the island and connect together with sails. And the final ship is inspired by the 1989 Black Seas Barracuda, which is one of the most iconic pirate sets LEGO has ever made. So you're essentially getting 2 completely different builds in one set, which is genuinely incredible value. Even cooler than this, though, is that the set actually came from LEGO Ideas, which means it's fan-made, and this next one is also fan-made, but it might be the most mechanically impressive set ever. The Typewriter set from 2021 has working keys and a moving carriage, just like a real typewriter from the 1950s. When you press any of the keys, a type bar jumps up, while the carriage moves from right to left. The set has a spring-loaded escapement mechanism that moves the carriage 1 notch with each keystroke, and you can even feed real paper into the platen roller. Now, obviously, it won't type anything, since these are just Lego pieces, but still, it's sick regardless. Now, this next one is a bit simpler, but the Ship in a Bottle set from 2018 has a really cool feature built into the stand. Most people just look at the bottle, but if you take it off, you'll find a compass underneath it. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually work like a real compass, with magnetism and all that, but there is a needle in the middle that you can spin around, which looks pretty fun to do. The compass is just one of many details on the stand, but it's one of those little features that shows how much thought LEGO puts into even the smallest parts of their sets. Shout out Tiago for this one. But finally, the bucket wheel excavator from 2016 might have the most complex motorized system LEGO has ever built. The set has a power functions motor that simultaneously operates multiple different things, and I mean multiple. It rotates the massive bucket wheel, moves dual conveyor belts that transport stuff from the wheel all the way through the excavator, rotates the entire thing 360 degrees, and makes it move forwards and backwards. All of these functions are happening at the same time with one motor, which shows just how much engineering went into making this set work. If you thought that pneumatic stuff at the start of the video was cool, this thing completely blew it out of the water. I mean, it's not even close. But what hidden feature surprised you the most in this video? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.